Hey, it's Corbin. I've been working on a podcast project, and so I've had trouble finding time to take it or break it together. But I was starting to feel like an asshole for not putting anything on the feed, so I hit up some of my pals, and we're going to talk to them for a little bit. You know, sports, life, sex.
What?
Who knows? Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, and you're gonna get to the end of this podcast and you'll be like, oh, there another little chunk of my life gone away in a way that made me marginally distracted. Anyway, currently with me, Sean Keane. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm good. That was a good philosophy of what podcasting is, basically.
Yeah.
Distracting us from the inevitability of death.
Yeah.
But just taking our minds away from thinking about the abyss for just a short while.
Exactly. I'm going to go see The Irishman in a little bit.
Oh.
And so I don't fucking have time to sit around with my thumb up my butt, you know?
No, you're watching art.
Yeah. Cinema, baby. Have you heard even one take about CinemaGate that has made you go like, yeah, that makes sense?
Oh, with Martin Scorsese?
Yeah.
No, because I feel like I think I need to maybe subscribe to some journals, because it's definitely poisoning my mind to primarily get people's opinion on Twitter. And that
so you need to get academic journals. And then,
I need something else because things are I'm reading takes on Twitter, and then it'll be linking to articles that are in effect optimized for Twitter, and I feel like there's certain landmines on Twitter, and one of them is Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm. It's true, because people get very passionate both ways.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. I'm in a real bind here, because I like Marvel movies. I've made this clear. Here and there, you know. Me and my dad, we like to go to them the weekend they come out. You know. I love hanging out with my boy Spider-Man. I like that there's a big dumb story that you can piece together. I love it. Corbin loves that bullshit, but at the same time, Corbin, when Martin Scorsese says they're not cinema, Corbin goes, "Yeah, no, of course not." And I don't, I just feel myself pulled between two worlds here, Sean. And it's just been really hard for me, okay? And it's a fucking bummer that because part of the thing that Scorsese's complaining about is that he's like, the whole fucking industry is like this now, man. I can't get any goddamn movies made. And it's hard for me not to be like, yeah, he's right. It's true. I just am not sure that it's Marvel movies' fault. Pretty sure that it has more to do with, how grown-ups hate leaving their house now. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to, sit here and be like, when Groot said we are Groot, that was real cinema. That was better than the 400 blows, you fucking asshole. You know? Sean was adjusting his microphone, and he sent me a message that said I'm adjusting my microphone, and I proceeded to do a lot of talking to try to cover that up. And man, I got a solid minute in. I did a really fucking good job. I was looking at the timer. I was like, I'm gonna pulverize this motherfucker. Everyone's gonna love it. And I didn't quite make enough content to beat him to the end of the thing. But I did what I could. I tried, and I think I deserve credit for that. So if you're listening, hit me up over on any of the social media networks, Twitter, Facebook. Excuse me. Just had to burp a little bit.
No problem.
Working on not burping into the microphone. Oh, Sean's back. Anyway, so if you liked me stalling for a minute.
Sorry, that was good. I could hear that. My mic was just not recording.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
thank
about
God.
that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I forgive you, Sean.
Thank you.
Dad, I forgive you, Dad. Anyway, so do you have any thoughts about what I just said?
Well, it's funny. I was thinking in terms of like what Martin Scorsese has recently made, and the movie Silence.
Mm-hmm. I've actually not seen Silence.
What's that?
I've not seen Silence.
I have not seen that either. It seems like the least marketable movie I could possibly imagine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Catholic missionaries in Japan who are like being drowned because of their faith, and it's called Silence, and they don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe Marty's a little disappointed about the reception of, again, the least marketable film of all time that he made. But you know what? He can make whatever he wants.
Well, he also made a successful movie this decade.
I mean, Wolf of Wall Street is like a rollicking film.
But it's also like 3 hours long. Like, it's also...
It does not necessarily need to be 3 hours
long. No, I want to make it clear. I really like Wolf of Wall Street. I don't even know if I quite mind that it's 3 hours long. I just think that as like a marketing proposition, like... The people who said, sure, Marty, you can make a 3 hour long movie about how capitalism is bad. And it did really well. Like, maybe, like, I don't know, like maybe the movie industry should be a little more open to, hey, we've got a 3 hour long movie about how, how the American dream is built on fraud and lies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? Will there be a crazy Quaalude scene? Yeah, of course. Yeah. He
actually has a bunch of hits this decade, weirdly. Shutter Island, big hit.
I never saw Shutter Island.
I think Hugo was a big hit.
Hugo was a big hit. Shout out to Martin Scorsese for making a children's picture after
all those years.
After all those years. It's like, honestly, I admire it. That's what Marty needs to do. It's time for him to get into the Amblin business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, how do you feel about movies? Seen any good movies lately, Sean?
I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was good.
I only saw Snow Angels. That was good, but it's like the most depressing movie I've ever seen.
That's the David Gordon Green movie. I believe Sam Rockwell is in it.
It is. It's a great Rockwell performance, but the thing that really stood out to me, weirdly, well, there's two things. One of them that Joey has talked about. There is a scene
Joey Devine,
where Joey Devine, co-host of Brown Ball Rock, where a very sad Sam Rockwell is dancing with some old people in a bar, and inexplicably one of them is dressed exactly the same as Freddy Krueger. It's not explained or mentioned. And there is a moment where Nicky Cat does an amazing pratfall, which is also totally out of place because they're like worried about a missing child. And
that's some real David Gordon Green shit right there.
It's extremely like if you're looking for some extremely David Gordon Green shit, this is the movie for you.
Like, okay, so like David Gordon Green, right? I don't know. He hasn't made a movie in a minute, I don't think, right?
He made the Halloween remake. I think that's his most recent thing.
Yeah, Danny McBride wrote that, I think, maybe.
I think that's right, and I think he directed a couple Gemstones episodes.
Well, maybe? Yeah, because that's the thing is that Danny has been working with David Gordon Green has been working with Danny McBride a lot, and Danny McBride makes comedy television shows for adults, and like not for adults even in like I think they're very ribald kind of way, like in the way that where they're like sophisticated, you know?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get you to sort of empathize, and I just think that part of the problem here is that adults are they just want to sit on their fucking asses at home and binge TV. And so, like, TV for adults is really good right now, but movies for adults, it's weird. It's a harder proposition lately. I think it sucks. Don't get me wrong, but you know,
no, it does seem like that's where everything goes. Like if you have, like it's the reason that Bosch is an Amazon show, because somebody owned the rights for it for like 15 years, and if it's like 1992, that just becomes that's a move. That's like Nick Nolte plays Bosch in 1992. But later there just isn't that market for like a $30 million film drama made for adults. You know
about Bosch.
And so now it's like, well, I guess it's a
they
10
did
episode
make the Lincoln Lawyer.
They did make the Lincoln Lawyer, and it's
which is of course in the Boschverse.
It is in the Boschverse. Spoiler: the Lincoln Lawyer and Bosch are half brothers.
What the fuck?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You son of a gun!
It's mind blowing.
Which one is the abandoned? Which one is the abandoned one?
Bosch.
Okay, that tracks.
Yeah, Bosch like doesn't have a dad, and his mom's a prostitute, and she gets murdered.
No, Bosch. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We haven't seen a Lincoln Lawyer in the Bosch TV series yet. I don't think.
I hope they get. I hope they just bring McConaughey. So it's like Titus Welliver and Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, it'd be great. Incredible. There's like a genre of like one-off films that feel like I love a movie that feels like it should always be running at like 3 p.m. on Saturday on TNT. Mm-hmm. And The Lincoln Lawyer is absolutely in that zone. You know, where it's like every month it's The Fugitive at the same time. Mm-hmm. And the other movie that really feels like that is Limitless. And of course, Limitless also became a TV show because of the times we're living in.
Oh yeah. Bradley Cooper's in the first episode, and he says, I hope you enjoy this Limitless pill.
Yeah. It's incredible. I think Bradley Cooper's maybe in more than one episode too.
I've never seen Limitless, but I know how it ends.
Oh.
And I gotta say, that's a pretty fucking good end for a movie.
It's really crazy.
Because, all right, Limitless spoilers.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, Bradley Cooper uses this mega drug that makes him super smart, right? But it also just gives him a nightmare hangover, and makes him like stupider and stupider. But he just keeps using the drug because how could you not? It makes you limitless. Mm-hmm. And what happens is that eventually he reformulates the drug so he doesn't get the hangover.
Yeah, and like starts secretly producing it.
Yeah.
Himself. Yeah. Because that's how smart he gets. The weird thing about that movie, though, is there's a subplot in the middle of the film where it seems pretty clear that in a limitless pill blackout, Bradley Cooper has murdered someone.
Bradley Cooper. And
it sort of seems like he gets set up in terms of someone can like blackmail him for limitless reasons by the Russian mob, but they also don't really deal with it. Kind of seems like he just gets away with a limitless murder.
Bradley Cooper and Limitless. That not in your other movies. I mean, I think that his Wedding Crashers guy would probably do that.
It would.
He's a bad guy. Something I always really appreciated about Wedding Crashers is that Bradley Cooper was like a bad dude.
Yeah, like legitimately not like redeemable, really. Even
no, just like heinous. Like, oh my god, this guy is so horrible. Like to the point where when he started being in other movies as a not horrible guy, it took me a minute to be like,
whoa.
Because he's just like such a monster in this like goofy comedy.
I would say he is one of the most surprising people to become like a regular Oscar nominee in everything he makes.
Yeah.
If you're starting with like Alias and Wedding Crashers.
Yeah. You know what? In fairness to him in Wedding Crashers, you know, I think a lot of actors would not have been like, yeah, I'll play the worst fucking guy and I don't give a shit about if anybody walks out of that theater saying I like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm better looking than these other guys.
I'm a huge asshole, just a monumental asshole. A genuinely bad human being. And I'll do it. I don't fucking care. It's a ballsy performance.
Yeah.
You know?
Man.
This is movie talk here on Take It or Break It.
Yeah. The movies from 10 years ago.
I think maybe even longer.
Maybe further than that, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get out. See, that's why it's good that you're going out to the theater. I can't believe I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like 4 or 5 months after it came out.
Did you see it? Was it on at the television?
No, I still went to a theater.
Oh, this fucking guy at Los Angeles. Yeah. Am I right?
Look, I mean, it was only playing at a discount theater, so I didn't exactly get.
Did you have like 2 days worth of stubble on your face?
I tried. Yeah,
and like bags under your eyes, and you were wearing a robe.
Well, one thing that was embarrassing.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, please.
The embarrassing thing was that I had stopped at the store to do regular shopping, and used my backpack, because I didn't want to use a bag, just to be conservative, and kept my backpack with me because I had a laptop in it. And I'm like, I don't want to leave it in the car. And then as I was going in, the guy insisted on checking my bag, and the whole time was like, I don't even care if you have food in it, just throw it away. And then in my bag was like onions and lentils, and it was just like, he just looked at me like, what a weird. I bought 2 deodorants that were together, and so he was just looking at me like, what is this guy gonna do in this theater?
Make lentil soup. Don't be be an asshole.
He's like, well, definitely throw that away yourself. Don't. What are you doing? So I was properly lowered for this experience.
Man, the grown man wearing a backpack lifestyle, Sean Keane.
I really wish it wasn't mine, but
it's so complicated. So, a while I wrote about this on Bad Photojournalism, my award-winning Substack. Somebody wrote a tweet. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. Where they said that nobody is prepared for the raw sexual energy of a grown man wearing a backpack, dining alone.
My God.
And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's. Oh boy,
they figured it out. Because that's just a tweet about me. That's just like, that's what I do. Is that because unlike Sean, I take a bus everywhere. I cannot drive.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was living that life in San Francisco. I am not doing that in Los Angeles, however. Yeah. I'm not Louis Keane, the king of public transportation, playing music on his phone without headphones. Yeah, on a city bus.
He's a monster. Say what you will. He's an animal. But that means I have to take a backpack. I recently bought my family was concerned that maybe when I was in public, I smelled too much because I would walk around all day with a backpack.
Oh, okay.
And like sweat and like, maybe even like go hiking. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where I bought a way bigger backpack so that I could pack around a change of clothes in it. So I could smell less in the middle of the day. And it's, it was hard, It was just a hard moment for everybody involved that I have gotten so deep into the backpack lifestyle that I'm buying
upgraded.
Yeah, that I'm buying premium backpacks to satisfy my craving.
I haven't gone that far, but I do regularly have what I call an emergency shirt in the backpack at all times. Currently, it is a very old shirt that says "Phi Slamma Jamma."
Oh, wonderful!
And then my car has
mine says "Who farted." So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And my car has like an emergency set of clothes that are not because of like a real emergency. It's mainly like sweat related things that I'm worried about.
I smell bad, and my gym is across town, so I can't walk in, take a shower, and leave.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's the next that's the next thing, because I'm currently a Planet Fitness member. Not to brag or anything.
Pretty nice.
You know, they play Fox News on the TV, so I'm a pretty big fan. And like sooner or later, I'm gonna end up upgrading my subscription to the $15 level so that I can stop at random Planet Fitnesses all around Portland, Oregon, and just take showers when I need them. Like I'm gonna be a freak, Sean.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, what else? I mean, look, I think the San Francisco equivalent of that is it's come up before, but I do think it's possible that someone is living in the Chase Center right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, of course.
One of those suites.
Yeah. Honestly, I support that person.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the suites have like beds, right?
They have beds and like 9 TVs, and they're open 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now look, you have to spend quite a bit of money on that suite, but I'm not sure it's so much more than a nice apartment in San Francisco. And you get basketball tickets.
So it was a guy who was like, do I want Great Warrior season tickets, or do I want my own apartment, air quotes?
Yeah, right.
And he goes, well, and you get a butler, right? They have a butler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get a butler in my other apartment.
I gotta say, this sounds like a fucking deal. I'm honestly starting to think about it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe you can just shower in the team locker room. I bet they don't always lock it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying with the team. I'm saying after hours.
Occasionally with the team. Hey, fellas. You got a newspaper. You walk in with a towel over your shoulder. Your hog is out.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up, D'Angelo?
Draymond, what's happening? Hey, not much. Draymond loves it.
Oh yeah, that's like I'd live here too.
Draymond fucking loves showering with another naked guy. Loves it.
I think he's way into every aspect of locker room culture.
Oh, 100%.
I bet he does not snap a towel, but he appreciates a good towel.
When somebody gets snapped, that's what he does.
Yeah. Do you think he's given a hot foot? That might just be a baseball thing.
The hot foot is when you put icy hot in somebody's shoe.
No, you like literally light their shoe on fire.
Oh.
See, that's like the like baseball psychosis where you're like, wait, this pranks went way too far.
Well,
which was kind of only reached by Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah. The most baseball player we have, weirdly, was Gilbert Arenas when he took a fat shit inside of Nick Young's shoe.
It was Andre Blatch. He actually just pelted Nick Young with paintballs and also verbally abused his children years after they played together.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you ever seen the video of Gilbert Arenas like visiting Nick Young's home and his child? It's from like 2 or 3 years ago. And he's just like really talking shit to a child and making fun of his dad and
Thank God.
Slapping the toys away.
Slapping toys away?
Yeah. It's real alpha.
I have some intel for you about Gerald Wallace in locker rooms.
Oh, excellent.
When reporters would come in post-game to just interview guys, because you got to go in the locker room. Gerald Wallace would just sit down and answer questions, hog out buck fucking naked.
That's such a power move.
I know.
It's really weird that he was on the Blazers.
Oh, he kicked that. He was great though.
Yeah.
I think that's the only team that ever really liked him enough, you know?
But he was only on the team for like a year, right? Not even a year?
I think 2 years in total. He was there for the end half of a season, and then half of a season before he went to the Nets. That might be incorrect, because he might have gotten traded in the offseason. I can't quite remember. I think he got traded to the Nets when there was reason to believe he might not be good.
Oh, gotcha.
But I can't recall completely off the top of my head. God, he was so tight though. And the pick they got for him, Damian
Lillard.
Yeah. Like he served the franchise very nobly, you know. He was a hero on both ends. God, he was so tight. He would just fucking fly around and die for stuff. Ugh.
He looks great.
Yeah.
Do you know what his 2 basketball reference nicknames are?
Please go right ahead.
Crash and G-Force.
Crash is real. I know
G-Force might be like a Chinese nickname.
Yeah, G-Force doesn't sound as real, but people definitely called him Crash. That's real. I know that you guys like to do these basketball reference nicknames and be like, that one's not real.
Yeah, but Crash is real.
Yeah, Crash is real.
It's a lot of famous people involved in these deals. Corbin, when Portland traded for him, they gave up the picks that became Tobias Harris and Shabazz Napier.
Oh,
and then they got the Dame Lillard pick back.
Could use Tobias right now, if we're all being honest.
Yeah, I think he could work. How do you? Oh, we should bring this up.
Carmelo Anthony. Hell yeah!
How
finally,
do you feel about it?
Incredible! It's incredible, baby.
It's the right time.
He's home.
I think it might work, just because
we'll see.
Like other teams have needed Carmelo Anthony to like really contribute. He just needs to outplay Anthony Tolliver.
Yeah, who looks dead? Who looks like a tuberculosis patient?
He does seem dead.
Like watching him as a nightmare. Like it's like watching Anthony Tolliver right now is just like looking at your own grave.
Yes, it is. I hadn't really seen him on the Timberwolves, so I just had this idea of him being like, oh, he's a 3-point shooter. He could be useful. And then I read something about the Blazers after the Zach Collins injury, and the writer was just like, you literally cannot play Anthony Tolliver more than 14 minutes or he turns to dust.
Oh, bad.
And then I saw a Blazers game, and I was like, oh, God, yeah, that's where he is right now.
Blazers are... You know, at least the Warriors, when everybody got injured, like, there's some freedom there, you know?
Right, exactly. Like, we're just going to start this tiny 20-year-old at small forward this week. There's nothing else left for us this year.
Blazers have begun playing Nasir Little, who's apparently just doing Gerald Wallace shit because he's like, I need to be in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was a little disappointing in college, so he's got something to prove.
Exactly.
I like him. I like Simons.
Me too.
Just
Whiteside is the worst.
He is the worst.
He's the worst.
What's weird is that
name an NBA player you want on your team, Les.
God,
that isn't a sex menace.
Right. Yeah, the what makes Whiteside so dangerous is that he constantly puts up numbers.
Yeah, no,
so
I know.
He tricks you, and he has some stuff he can do, but like the stat guy center who doesn't really play defense is crazy.
Yeah, a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. And I because the Blazers had J.J. Hickson, who was the worst of that ever. Except that he was like, there was even I've already said this on 2 podcasts, so here we go, 3rd podcast. There's like a role that Hickson theoretically could have played. Like, you could have made him a power forward for 15 minutes who just went out there and fucked shit up, you know, and didn't have to commit to anything. and that would have been, that would have been good for him. You know what I mean? There's no role where Hassan Whiteside is going to actually contribute.
I mean, and I watch it, and it's like, oh, it seems like he got some rebounds, but it also seems like no one else gets the rebound.
Because the shot goes up, and Whiteside's hands just, like, shoot in the fucking air. He's not clearing out space for anybody. He doesn't have any sense of operating in space. He has a sense of, like, my hands go up and the ball goes in them. That's how
it's like it's always as a fan of the 2000 Warriors, their classic bad team thing was falling in love with a different J.J. Hickson every like 18 months, where it was just like, oh, we need Jason Caffey. I think Danny Fortson can work here, and it never really paid off. Meanwhile, they had Antoine Jameson playing small forward. And,
God, the NBA used to be so great. You know, now it's just all a bunch of Mike D'Antoni bullshit. Am I right, brother?
We can't get an offensive rebound. We have to go back and.
Oh no! I hope he can switch on defense.
Did you see any of that Clippers Rockets game, Corbin?
No, I think I was out last night. Or something. I don't remember.
It did kind of expose Patrick Beverley, but the funniest part was when Harden and Beverley just got into a flop duel.
Cool.
So there was Beverley's move was to try to like trick Harden into offensive fouls by like stopping abruptly and kind of like slowly falling on him. And then Harden would like fall differently himself to tangle himself up.
Hell
and then
yeah.
He was so in the zone that at one point Lou Williams is bringing the ball up, like not even exactly driving, just sort of like he's probably above the break on the right side. Harden bumps into him a little bit and launches himself backwards about 25 feet, and everyone stops, and the refs looked at him like, we're not even going to call anything on that. Like,
it'd be funny if like there was like a 4-on-4 game going on, and then sort of in the other corner there was just Beverly and Harden like trying to one up each other with how
and not fighting.
Yeah,
like trying to appear hurt by the other one.
Like Beverly brings out a ketchup packet and pokes a fork in his eye and goes, oh.
Both of them limping and then going into a sprint when it looks like they can cherry pick for a basket.
Harden going,
I can't come into work today.
I got the consumption, Papa.
Can you imagine what it was like on last year's Rockets team when people were like calling in sick to practice? The amount of like production involved in that from Chris Paul and James Harden had to be insane.
All right. I didn't understand that riff. I'm going to be honest with you, Sean.
Oh, sorry. I didn't really. I said production in a way that was not clear. I thought that Chris Paul would like employ like sound effects artists.
Oh, okay.
And, like a voice filter to make it a real.
Like,
I just feel like those guys would be really serious.
I have doo-doo ass.
Yeah. And then there's just like this.
It's their wives. Like, I mean, James Harden doesn't have a wife, but their wives like
he might never have a wife, Corbin.
I'm really starting to get worried that James Harden might never settle down.
He might be the most single man. Because like Lou Williams is obviously the most
poly man
in the NBA, but like he still has partners.
Yeah,
Harden seems like a real lone wolf.
Yeah, James Harden feels like is already like a 50-year-old guy sitting on a balcony staring at a sunset.
Yeah, just bathrobe living.
Yeah,
he's like ISO on the court and off the court.
Exactly. And, like, you know, I think that maybe society conditions us to be like, Oh, that's so sad. But, what do we know? We're not, me and Keane, we're not built for that bullshit.
No, exactly. Just, cut loose.
Yeah. Just looking out at the bay. What bay? I don't know.
Yeah, just
whichever one I happen to fucking be
maybe
at.
a lagoon. It should be a bay, though.
Yeah, probably. Lagoon's a little too vacation-y. I think we can all agree.
All right, most of those are fake, right?
Yeah, of course. Name a real lagoon.
Yeah. I can't even think of one.
Any NBA teams you've been enjoying so far?
I still like the Clippers experience, but I feel like they're on TV a little too much.
Oh, wow.
The weird physical transformation of Dwight Howard just fascinates me.
I watched a little bit of the Lakers the other day. It's fucking insane.
It really does feel like he's a different man. And
yeah, and also to see him play like he should have played his entire career.
Well, yeah, and he also has such a bad sense of humor that it fits into the new LeBron performative dad joke Taco Tuesday aesthetic. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if it was a more
LeBron
serious...
3, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that then it's like, well, I guess this kind of works on this team. Like, I gotta say, I hated his Norbit Halloween costume, but then I saw him in a Thanos costume, like really hamming it up for children at some Lakers Halloween event, and I was like, this is kind of working. Like, he's sort of old enough that no one could even possibly think this is cool now, and now it like almost works. It's still fundamentally terrible,
of course,
but
it's
but
whack,
also,
Yeah,
like his hair is so strange that it's like it doesn't seem like he's trying to be cute and sexy anymore.
Yeah, he seems being washed is really suiting him.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah,
it's
even on the court, because once again, he's not like Shaq was mean to me, so I have to do post ups anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's just like, okay, yeah, I get a rebound, I fucking set a pick, I run, okay, cool. Like what he should have been doing his entire. I mean, say like, how many extra rings do you think we can assign to Shaq for like breaking Dwight Howard's brain like that?
I mean, at least one.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
Like that 2009 Magic team was a lot closer to beating the Lakers than it was on paper. Like, and part of that was Dwight Howard psychologically melting down at the free throw line at playing Shaq's old team.
Yeah. Just like Shaq's haunting visage.
You're not the real Superman.
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, I will say, look, he wasn't,
No, he just
pick another fucking superhero, dude.
Yeah, like it just didn't fit even his aesthetic that well.
Yeah, you could have been like, I don't know. I'm Shazam.
That would have been better.
Yeah, also because he's childlike. Or
I gotta
acts like
say,
he's childlike. He's more like a,
Identifying too much with a single superhero is a bad indicator for your NBA future. I gotta say.
Wow! What other examples do we have?
Victor Oladipo getting way too into Black Panther.
Yeah, but you know what? Who didn't?
But I mean, like, you can't bring Black Panther to the dunk contest and
wear the Black Panther mask
and then kind of do a shitty dunk.
All right, that's fair. And then he got injured not long after that.
Well, is it a coincidence, or did he stop eating those Black Panther steroids? I don't know. You never know.
Wow.
That's why I find Donovan Mitchell and his Spider-Man obsession a little troubling. Just because he's not he does not seem that Spider-Man like.
Yeah, he's not like an awkward teen.
He's not funny.
He's not. What other qualities does Spider-Man have? He's not on Pop-Tarts. I have right now. I got some Spider-Man Pop. I had a hankering for Pop-Tarts, and I was at the. There's a bird outside my window. Look at that guy. And I was at the grocery outlet because that's the best place to get discount Pop-Tarts. Duh. And I was trying not to get the Spider-Man Pop-Tarts, but also it was like really apparent that like it was the best flavor they had.
Yeah.
So I got Spider-Man Pop-Tarts, and I've been working my way through those the last few days, and I take them out of the sleeve, and they have little Spider-Man pictures on the Pop-Tart, and I think, cool. Because I like Spider-Man, but I didn't buy these Pop-Tarts because I like Spider-Man. I bought them because I was like, these are the only berry-flavored Pop-Tarts they have.
Yeah, right.
I'm not lying. Not that I don't like Spider-Man. He's great.
Yeah. But this was a Pop-Tart based decision.
Yeah. I don't like open up the bag and think, I wonder what picture of Spider-Man's going to be on these ones. I mean, I do, because, like, that's the game that's installed in my head from buying these Pop-Tarts. But, like, that's not why I bought them. Okay?
Yeah,
Sean?
I get it. Well, I'm not judging. I got to say, I'm very happy that the 4-year-old I babysit has really embraced the Flash as his favorite superhero, just because it's like, feels a little more wholesome.
Yeah.
There's not really that much punching.
Do you get to watch that weird Flashiverse show?
I have watched that. I weirdly watched that show.
You do already?
Delayed. Yeah, and then I don't know if he watches it or not, but
might still be a little young for it.
I think it might be too scary.
I've never really watched that show. I want to make this clear. I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who plays Captain Cold on that show,
It's tremendous. He's great.
It's incredible. Hi, Flash.
Yeah, one thing that was really great about the Flash is that, so that guy, I can't remember if the character is gay or if that's like an alternative storyline where he's gay, but the Flash is so aggressively gay friendly that in the first season they reveal that the police captain is gay, and it's like, oh, that's fine, but they're like so okay with it that they talk about it constantly, to the point that at the end of the season he's getting married to his partner. Now this is like the 12th biggest character on the show, and there are moments at the end of the first season where they're like fighting for their lives against some superhuman villain, and people are saying like, but the captain's wedding is today, and we're all totally fine with that.
His gay wedding that we all approve of.
And it's just like, you gotta protect
beautiful.
those hostages, guys.
Love has no gender.
He's on vacation. He's on his honeymoon. It's up to us to save the city. Which is positive, but also, just it was a little bit distracting.
Playing the solo.
How okay they were. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, also it's just really funny to see a 4-year-old wearing like a muscle suit on Halloween. And not punching. Again, less punching. That's what I want.
Because he uses
from
speed.
The children I babysit.
Was he running? Was he like,
he was running a lot. And
like,
I don't think he
zipping.
knows that. He just runs. He just runs around a lot, and he'll say, "I'm the Flash. You got to catch me. You can't catch me." And then
I'm the Flash.
Helps Sean's cardio a little bit sometimes too. I got to say.
Wow, is everything
I
okay?
could use a little more Flash in my own life.
Wow, damn. Would that we were all more like the Flash.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 45 minutes. Do you have any? What's up? You got any more time? What are we doing?
I got 5 more minutes. Yeah.
All right. It's
Maybe
always,
I got 4. I got 4 more minutes.
You got 4 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah. What are you expecting from The Irishman?
Good movie. I don't know. I like Martin. I just want to spend a few hours with my man Marty, baby.
New rules. I get it.
Like that's Because that's the other thing. Oh, man. And part of it is that some of these, frankly, jerk-off Marvel fans, they get into like, yeah, well, all Martin Scorsese's movies are about the mafia. And it's like that. First off, not true.
Not really at all.
Second, advocate for all kinds of world cinema and art cinema stuff.
He made a movie about the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, Marty Kundun loved it. Yeah, come on, guy. Like, don't show your asses like that, man. Made the best sports movie ever made.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah.
Nobody ever says it's the best. I've never. Every time, one of these websites, like The Ringer.
And then it's White Men Can't Jump #1.
Yeah,
Bull Durham #2.
Yeah. And
you know what's kind of bullshit about Bull Durham, by the way?
Go right ahead. What is
it? It is essentially Kurt Russell's story as a minor league baseball player who got hurt in AAA and never made the big show, and then they cast Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm. Well, Costner probably fits the role a little better.
No way. He's a dork. He is a dork. I guess he's older. Whatever. He was more marketable. Kurt Russell was probably committed to like 3 Tango and Cash movies.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He had to do. He was in some John Carpenter shit.
Yeah.
He had to glower in front of synths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
But every time they put these lists together, I'm like, you guys, like, I don't know, like,
you're leaving out the bull. You're ignoring the bull.
And I know, like, part of me knows why. It's because they're like, they're scared. They're scared of a movie that is about how sports are bad.
Yes, that's probably it. Yeah,
like I get it.
It's about someone who memorably, like the most memorable sports thing is him losing.
Yeah,
losing
exactly.
And then the nightmare of being a retired athlete.
Yeah, and him just like being a monster.
Yeah.
And like I get that like when you're like I'm looking for it, but they don't even like take the second to like write the paragraph where they go, look, we know that Raging Bull is better than all of these movies.
Right. No one's ever taken it seriously enough, but we just wanted to talk about the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah,
so.
but because it's a movie about a monster's descent into deeper levels of monstrosity, we didn't include it on our list because we didn't want to say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't want to think about the
we didn't want to think about
CTE of all our own favorite athletes.
Yeah. We look, we're scared of Paul Schrader, okay? We'll just say it.
He might come to the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look! You don't put First Reformed on a list of the best Christian movies.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. American Gigolo isn't the best 80s movies about synths and fun.
All right, I gotta go, Corbin.
All right,
this was fun. We learned a lot about cinema, I think.
Yeah, real cinema
and superheroes. Yeah,
we actually talked about both because you can talk about both.
Man.
They're not mutually exclusive.
What if the Irishman turns out that he can like shoot like shamrocks?
There's a fucking post-credit sequence. I'm here to talk to you about the Irishman Initiative.
I love it. It's Marty's ultimate rope-a-dope.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's the interview he gives. Gotcha. I love Spider-Man. Martin Scorsese could make a good Spider-Man movie.
He could do it all.
Yeah, come on. Spirit of New York, baby. All right. Bye, Sean.
Bye, Corbin.
Thanks for listening. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes. My newsletter is called Bad Photojournalism. Me and Sean and Joey and John Wilms are working on a short-run podcast about a podcast that's going to come out when iTunes is ready, and we're trying to bank a few episodes. Blah blah blah. Next week, and then sometime in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening, and everybody have a wonderful day.